Hi, Myra. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Hello, Sabrina. Hi, Shivani.
Hello.
Hi, Lynn. Maureen. Hello, Sensei. Jennifer. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Okay, now who is doing the recording?
Shanti. Is Shanti here?
I am just going to look up.
She's not here.
Not as yet. No. I can't see her.
I don't think she's here, but she didn't tell me. So I can use my other computer.
Okay. So are you going to come in another name, Shivani, or you're going to?
Yeah, where's the thing?
Just 1 second, everybody.
Yes. Can you see me? The other one?
I'm trying to find you.
The
Yeah, Shivani recording. Okay, that's a good name. Okay, I'm allowing you to record. Yes. There she is, Shanti.
Is Shanti here?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you can allow her to do it too.
Okay. Hi, Shanti.
Hi, Komilaji. I think I already can record.
I'm
Oh, yeah, okay. Can record.
okay. Okay, you are on for interpretation, Shivani. Good. So we are all ready. I'm just going to share my screen and start from the beginning. Hi, everybody. Today we are on Lagna to Aries to Virgo, and this is lesson 15 of the Foundations of Vedic Astrology course. And this is me at the ashram last year. And we continue with the class. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahman Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Brahma Murari Sripurantakari Bhanu Shashi Bhumi Suto Budhascha Guruscha Shukraha Shanirahu Ketava Sarave Graha Shanti Bhavo. Om Dati Shankatusharabham Shirodharanavasambhavam Namami Shashinam Somam Shambho Mukadabhushanam. So today we are going to do the Brihaspati Nama Mantra. And Brihaspati is also known as Guru. This is Jupiter. Om Guruve Namaha. Om Guruve Namaha. Om Guruve Namaha. Om Brihaspataye Namaha. Om Brihaspataye Namaha. Om Brihaspataye Namaha. So we are on Lagna part 2, and today we are talking Aries to Virgo. So firstly, we're considering malefics or benefics for each Lagna. There are two important factors to consider. There are natural malefics and benefics, and there are functional malefics and benefics considered for each Lagna. This was studied in lesson 6 of, in the malefic benefic section of lesson 6. So you can go back and review the lesson. Malefic planets are planets that cause problems, create obstacles, and are demanding. Benefics are one that enhance the quality of life. They improve the potential of the house they are located in. Malefic planets usually place well when they are placed in malefic houses because these houses restrict their energy. 6th or 3rd house are good. Actually, even 11th house, the malefics do well, but every planet does well in the 11th house. Malefic planets: Sun, waning moon, Mars, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. Benefics: waxing moon, Jupiter, and Venus. Neutral: Mercury. Mercury takes on the disposition of the planet it's placed with. Now, moon actually is interesting planet. Sometimes, we don't make a difference between waning moon and waxing moon. We take them all moon as benefic. But if you have a waning moon, especially dark moon, then a lot of emotions are hidden, and therefore they are easy to get misused. Planets, so after we know the malefics and benefics, we now meet temporary malefics and benefics. Planets change their nature depending on the ascendant and the houses they rule. Their temporary nature is dependent on the house they rule. Planets that rule Trikona houses 1, 5, 9 are always benefic. Planets that rule Kendra 4, 7, 10 are benefic if they are natural malefics. Natural benefics owning Kendra become malefic. Planets that rule malefic houses 3, 6, 11 are always malefic. Remember that in the 11th house, all planets placed in 11th house are good, but the 11th house ruler is always difficult planet. Rulers of the 2nd, 8th, and 12th are functionally neutral. they are supposed to act according to the other house they rule. The ruler of ascendant is always benefic even if he rules a malefic house, as in case of Libra and Taurus ascendants. For Libra, Taurus rules the 8th house. For Taurus, Libra rules the malefic 6th house. Venus would be considered benefic for both these ascendants. In case of dual rulership of a planet, the planet gives effect of its Mool Trikona sign. Saturn rules 8th and 9th house for Gemini ascendant. 8th house is the most difficult house, 9th the best house of the zodiac. Saturn's Mool Trikona is Aquarius, which rules the 9th house. Saturn, the greatest malefic, will give very good results for Gemini ascendant. Actually, what happens is in case of dual rulership, so just in example for Gemini ascendant, Saturn rules 8th and 9th house. So he doesn't give up the rulership of 8th house. But if you say how much percentage wise, he may give 70% for the 9th house, but there's still 30% he will give the impact of 8th house ruler as well. But largely he will, because his Mool Trikona is Aquarius, and for Gemini, Aquarius is the 9th house. So this is the Mool Trikona. Sun is Leo, Moon Taurus, Mars Aries, Mercury Virgo, Jupiter Sagittarius, Venus Libra, Saturn Aquarius, Rahu Gemini, Ketu Sagittarius. Actually, these 5 planets, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, they rule 2 houses each. Sun and Moon, we don't have to worry about their Mool Trikona because they rule 1 house only. And so in case of Mars to Saturn, we have to be concerned about that. So the Lagna at birth decides which planets are positive, which are negative for each ascendant. Positive planets give energies that are easy to use, while negative planets create energies that are challenging and not natural to us. We have to work on them. Planets can change their intrinsic nature. Mars, a natural malefic, becomes a great benefic for Cancer, Leo ascendants. Jupiter, a great benefic, becomes a functional malefic for Taurus and Libra ascendant. So, we have to understand this functional or temporary malefic benefic as well. So Rashi on the Lagna shows the physical features, Moon Lagna shows the mind, Sun Lagna soul, identity, career. Usually the malefic benefics are decided from the Lagna. But one could say that you want to study from the Moon Lagna, Sun Lagna, you can add further information. But mostly we look at the natural malefic benefic from the Lagna. Navamsha Lagna indicates the temperament. Nakshatra of the Lagna shows the mind. Nakshatra we will study in a few weeks. Navamsha later in the course. Actually, next week today we are doing Aries to Virgo, and next week we are going to look at Libra to Pisces, and then after that 1 week is on aspects, and then we go on to looking at nakshatras. So we are quite close to studying nakshatras. Lagnesh is the lord of the Lagna, most important planet in the chart, as it drives, manages the other planets too. Moon Lagna lord is known as Shubhapati. Actually, the Lagnesh or the lord of your Lagna, that is you. So how you are behaving, what you are doing, that is your Lagnesh. So we start with Aries. So here there are number of things. As you can see, number 1 is the number of Aries. This is the astronomical symbol, and Mesha, that is the Sanskrit name for Aries. And Mesha Lagna. And Aries is usually average in height, well-built, eager to take initiative. New experiences are a must. Routine work can be very debilitating. Aries need to contribute to the world in a positive way. Aries is a fire sign. Its natural inclination is to expand and go outwards. Unless you learn to discipline this fire, it can have a destructive potential too. Aries are freedom-loving. Restrictions of Saturn are the greatest test for them. Although if Aries can accept the restriction of Taurus, they can become extremely powerful. Mars also rules the 8th house for Aries ascendant. 8th house is the house of longevity. Strength of Mars would indicate a long life. This also indicates taking responsibility for your life. 8th house is the house of transformation. At times, Aries actions lead to unexpected transformations. You can say that there are unexpected consequences of actions with Aries. Because if you're Aries Lagna, you can be impulsive. You take the action and then think about it later. So sometimes, that action has results that you had not thought about. Exalted Mars gives powerful career, ability to focus on the goals of your life. Debilitated Mars could lead to problems with muscle tone, blood disorders. It can also give problems with mother. Mars gets debilitated in the 4th house, exalted in the 10th house. Sun, Jupiter are very positive. Jupiter can sometimes cause problems regarding expenses as it rules the 12th house as well as the auspicious 9th house for Aries. Saturn, Mercury, Venus are negative planets. Saturn rules 10th and 11th house. Mercury is the most difficult planet for Aries. It rules the 3rd and 6th house, is most difficult for Aries. Analyzing Mercury, their actions is challenging. You see, Aries have to act. So Mercury questions the action. And Mercury, because he rules the 3rd and 8th house, he is usually difficult for Aries. Venus rules 2nd and 7th house, therefore it is Maraka. It's important to understand Venus 2nd house will give money, 7th house marriage. Only when the time is right, when only then it can act like Maraka. Otherwise, it can bring some changes for you. And this is Michael Jordan's chart, and Michael Jordan is a basketball player. Recently, a movie came out about him called Air. I don't know whether you have seen it. It's about Air Jordan. There's the shoes that are very famous, his shoes. And what is very interesting in his chart is that the Lagna Lord is debilitated, but it's retrograde. Retrograde planets become very powerful, even though they are debilitated. He has Rahu with Mars. So Rahu's influence is there. And when the Lagna Lord is in the 4th house, it brings relationship with mother, but it can also bring problems with mother. Then you can see strong Saturn in the 10th house. So hardworking work, to be so successful, one has to work hard. And so Saturn, even though it's not the best planet, it rules the 11th house and the 10th house, earning from career. And Mercury, not the best planet in the 10th house. Maybe he made some mistakes. I don't know enough about his personal life. But here the two good planets, Jupiter and Sun, they are the 5th and the 9th Lord in the 11th house. And Michael Jordan, very wealthy as a sportsman, but his Jordan Air shoes they became hugely successful and a big money earner for him. So let us look in the class. So so this is Heidi. Excuse me, I was looking at, yeah, now you can see it more clearly. So one of the Aries ascendant, impulsive, strong. One of the best things you can have as an ascendant ruler, if the ascendant ruler is exalted, because it gives you a lot of physical strength as well. You have Mars exalted, but it's with Mercury. So Mercury is not your best planet. So it can always make you doubt yourself or overanalyze things. So you have to think how it impacts. Although if you look at it, there's quite a lot of distance between Mars and Mercury. And then here we see Saturn in the third house, self-effort. Third house is good position for Saturn. Sun, your best planet, fifth lord in the 11th. This can give good earning, good money. Jupiter and Venus both exalted in the 12th house. So 12th house is the house of spirituality, and both of them in dignity. When a planet, even though he is Venus is a temporary malefic for this ascendant, it doesn't matter because it's in such good health. And the 12th house, means more connected to spirituality, a higher mind. But 12th house can also bring big expenses. So you have to be careful about that. Mohini, another Aries ascendant, and here we can see Lagna Lord Mars is in the 9th house. So here we have fiery Lagna Lord Mars, Lagna, Aries want to do things. Mars is there, but Saturn is also there. So Mars Saturn can bring some frustration, irritation, because Saturn can sometimes block the Mars energy. Always for Aries ascendant, I look at where Moon is placed. Mercury is placed, because Mercury is not the best planet for you. Now, Mercury in the 10th house, generally a good position, but it can sometimes make you question your career, and create some obstacles there. But mostly 10th house means that, personally, I feel that anything in your chart, one has to learn to live with it and to develop it in the proper way. Here we see Sun, Moon together, 4th and 5th house rulers in the 11th house. So this can give a lot of money and finances. Snow, another Aries ascendant, and Lagna Lord has gone into the 8th house. So Aries, again, all the qualities of Aries are there, but because the Lagna Lord has gone into the 8th house, 8th house is the house of transformation and change. So sometimes, Snow, you may think I'm doing this, and there's unexpected consequences for you that are not always what you had planned when you start thinking about action. Then good planets, Sun and Jupiter. So Jupiter's in the 7th house. So he can bring relationship, general good luck, but Saturn is strong in the 7th house, but he can bring some restrictions for you. Of course, everything depends on how you deal with it. That is the important factor. You have many planets in the 6th house, Sun, which is your 5th house ruler, Venus and Mercury. Mercury is exalted, very powerful in your chart, Snow. But you see that this kind of two things to think about. It's not the best planet for Aries, but it's strong in your chart. So you have to learn how to use it, how to make the best use of it. And you have very tight conjunction of Venus and Mercury, but they are not in planetary war. So that is a good factor. So then number 2, Rishabha, Taurus, Lagna, and Venus is the ruling planet known as the Lord of the Ascendant. Lagna Lord, you can say Venus rules good things in life. Taurus being an earth sign, good things have to be practical, earthy, like food and sex. Taurus rising are usually attractive with thick neck, broad shoulders, tendency towards being fat. They admire beauty and enjoy luxury. Taurus has endurance to fulfill its task and can be stubborn and determined. One of the things I've noticed about Taurus ascendant, because it's the bull, once they decide to do something, they will keep on working at it, even though they may not get appreciated. People don't give them the due notice, but they have this endurance. So that is a very good thing about Taurus. Taurus rules the throat. It can make you a great speaker. Good food can be your greatest weakness. Venus also rules the 6th house for this ascendant. Taurus ascendants can create obstacles for themselves and be their own enemy. Sometimes, Taurus have to be careful that they don't get in their own way or create obstacles for themselves, because for Taurus, Libra is the 6th house. So although Venus is still a good ruler for you, you do have to be careful about that. Exalted Venus gives financial strength, ability to make money. It also gives strong enemies or competitors. Debilitated Venus can make you highly critical and fussy. Venus gets debilitated in the 5th house, exalted in the 11th. Saturn, as the 9th and 10th house ruler, is Raja Yoga Karaka for Taurus, best planet for them. We will study a little bit more about Raja Yoga Karaka later on in the chart, in the class. Not today, but later on in the course. Sun, 4th Lord, Mercury, 2nd and 5th Lord are also good. See, Mercury is very interesting. It's a friend of Venus, and 2nd and 5th Lord, it's a good planet. Venus's intention is good. But if you misuse it, it can become a negative planet too, due to its rulership of the 6th house. At times, you can be your worst enemy. Watch this tendency. Moon, Jupiter are the negative planets for Taurus. Moon rules the 3rd house, Jupiter 8th and 11th house. Usually, Jupiter does not give good results for Venus-ruled ascendants. It tends to give wrong guidance, knowledge, expansive attitudes into negative areas. Mars' Maraka rules the 7th and 12th houses. 7th is Maraka, 12th house gives loss. So, the benefics, like Jupiter, when it becomes negative, it's not aggressive in its negativity, but it can lead you astray. It can give you the wrong advice. So this is Tony Blair's chart. Tony Blair was the former Prime Minister of UK. And here what you see is his Lagna Lord is exalted. So he was very successful. He became the Prime Minister of UK for 10 years. So super successful. And but you can see Mars and Jupiter, two not so positive planets in the Lagna. So you can think maybe he made some mistakes, because Jupiter may have given him some wrong advice. and Mars also, because Mars is very, I must do what I want to do, whether it's good for me or not. And in Tony Blair's chart, Mars rules the 7th house, so that could also show influence of his wife. But strong Jupiter is there, and sorry, Venus is there, and Sun exalted, but in the 12th house. So Mercury, good planet, but in the 12th house. So you have to consider that there is some degree of loss. I find that many successful prime ministers have Sun in the 12th house, because 12th house Sun is like, it's here, it's visible, but I can see my hand in the camera, but I can't see it myself. So the 12th house Sun can give you, other people can think of you as powerful, but you don't think yourself as powerful. So that is something that you can look at. So in the class, we have 2 of you with Taurus Lagna. Mutsu. So here we have a Taurus, and Venus is in the 3rd house. It's the 3rd house is house of communication, and with the moon. So I would say, Muthu, you're good at communicating with people, but here in the Lagna, Taurus, Sun is in Taurus, Mercury is in Taurus, and Ketu is in Taurus. Now, what you see, Sun, 4th Lord, that is a good planet. Mercury, 2nd and 5th Lord, is a good planet. Ketu is complicated, but Ketu can give interest in spirituality and Jyotish. The thing is this, that Ketu and Rahu both have a positive side and a negative side. We always need to calm the negative side of Rahu Ketu, because Ketu can make you feel rejected, not appreciated. But for Taurus, the best planet is Saturn, and Saturn, 9th and 10th Lord in the 2nd house. So 2nd house of money, wealth. So Saturn can give money, wealth, by being in the 2nd house. And Sue, again, Taurus ascendant, and Venus, Lagna Lord, is in the 7th house in Scorpio. Here you can see Venus is with Mars, which is strong Mars, but Mars is not the best planet for Taurus. But if you have a strong planet, he's going to show his face. But look at the strong Saturn. The best planet for you, Saturn, in its own sign in the 10th house. That is a very good aspect for you, to have such a strong Saturn, working hard, taking responsibility. All those factors are there. Jupiter in the 6th house is fine. But Venus's influence of Mars and Rahu, those are the things that you have to watch for. I will ask for questions after Gemini. So now you see number 3 sign. This is the astronomical symbol Mithuna, Gemini Lagna. And the couple, Gemini is not the twin so much in Sanskrit, but a couple. Mercury is the ruling planet, known as the Lord of the Ascendant. Gemini are attractive, tall, slim, with large hands and feet. They have lovely eyes and sharp features. Mercury deals with intellect. Gemini is an air sign. Air signs are also about mental activity. So Gemini's realm is very much analyzing everything. Show me the evidence, then I want to know. The twin symbol gives them a dual personality, ability to see the other side of the picture. Multitasking, they can sometimes be deceptive, even deceiving themselves. You know, so what I notice about Mithuna is that sometimes they can live in their twin. So they don't see the full reality because they don't want to see it. So that is something you have to be careful about. The special rule about Mercury is that it changes its nature, malefic or benefic, according to the nature of the planet it conjoins. So keeping that in mind, Gemini ascendants have to try to keep good company, cultivate positive ideas as they're easily influenced by what or who they are close to. This is most important for Gemini or Virgo ascendant, that they have to always be careful about the company they keep. Exalted Mercury gives good education, happiness, intellectual power. Debilitated Mercury can make you reliant on your instinct. Debilitated Mercury can also lose the analytical skills and practical disposition that is usually its strength. Mercury gets debilitated in the 10th house, exalted in the 4th house. Positive planets for Mithuna, Saturn, Mercury's natural friend, can create problems for Gemini as it rules 9th and 8th. But remember that Saturn's Mool Trikona is the 9th. So largely he will give positive results. There'll be some percentage of the 8th house result. Venus, Mercury's other friend, rules the positive 5th as well as the negative 12th. Again, Venus will mostly give a positive effect. Mars is the 6th and 11th, so has capacity to injure. Taking impulsive action, Mars becomes most difficult aspect for intellectual Gemini. You see, Gemini need to analyze, think things through. They're not rushing. And like for Aries ascendant, Mercury is the most difficult planet. For Gemini, Mars is the most difficult planet. So you have to see this rulership. Sun has adverse relationship with Gemini. It rules the negative 3rd house. You know, 3rd house is quite okay, but 3rd house also can give you a wrong type of ego. So that is why Sun ruling the 3rd house sometimes is not considered good for Gemini. Moon is Maraka as it rules the 2nd house. This is Albert Einstein. And what you see here is, and this is surprising, his Lagna Lord, Mercury, is in the 10th house and it's debilitated. And it's close to the Sun and it's close to Saturn. So remember the rule of Mercury, it gets influenced by the planets that are placed with it. Venus is also placed with it, exalted Venus, but the closer influences of Sun and Saturn. Now, Albert Einstein was one of the scientists that created the atomic bomb. And I think later on he regretted it. And so you see that influence of the Sun, maybe those in power, government, Saturn, company that he was keeping, those could have been some negative influences. So he got talked into doing it. And then Saturn is also 9th lord in the 10th, so he has a good understanding of knowledge and knowledge base. Also Jupiter, 10th lord, is in the 9th, so they've got some big connection with 9th and 10th lord. Most difficult planet, Mars, is in the 8th house with Rahu. It's exalted, so one could say that the effect of the atomic bomb was pretty devastating, the exalted Mars. So there could be some sort of a militant aspect that he had. But one interesting point here I wanted to make was that in Albert Einstein's chart, he's famous for his career. And Pisces can sometimes give you an intellect that goes beyond, small things. It is a much vaster intellect. But I was reading somewhere that he was not very practical in his personal life. So sometimes we are only looking at his public life, but his personal life, he made some impractical decisions, and that could be because Mercury is in Pisces. We have many of you here with Gemini ascendant, and let us go through all of you here. Oh no, not many in Gemini. It's the later ones then. Sukanya. See here, Gemini ascendant, and the Lagna Lord Mercury is in Aries with Ketu. So Ketu is obviously interested in astrology, spirituality. Normally, the ascendant ruler placed in the 11th house means you're interested in money, finances. You can be good at that. Then you can see Sun very strong in the 10th house with Venus, but Venus is very close to the Sun. So combustion of Venus, Venus is your good planet. Fifth Lord in the 10th house. So it's impacting the Sun, but Sun is very powerful. Then Mars, which is the most challenging planet for Gemini, in the 9th house. So what you have to take care is that you don't sometimes not listen to advice, because Mars there, he says, I know better. So it is important that you should listen to other people, what they want to say as well. So that is it for not today, but up to now. Anybody has any questions? Okay. See, what I want you to think about when you look at these charts is that how are these planets that are not so good? How are you handling them? How are you dealing with them? Because Jyotish is also about self-awareness. And whatever the energy is, it is your energy. So you got to learn how to deal with it. Sometimes some things are not so positive, but we learn how to work with it. So now we come to Kartaka, Cancer Lagna. Moon is the ruling planet known as the Lord of the Ascendant. Cancer are medium height with round moon-shaped face. They have a tendency towards putting on weight. Actually, Cancer ascendant is the one that is mostly visible because they tend to have like a round, just like a moon face. It's very interesting. These body descriptions are given by Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra. So I have added them here. Cancer ascendants need to be aware of the waxing, waning phases of the moon. Moon is mysterious, changeable, and secretive. They are always on the move. Their moods can reflect the ever-changing quality of the moon. Cancer is a water sign. It can be emotional, passionate, as well as cold. Water has the ability to boil as well as freeze. They need to nurture others, as moon is the significator of mother. They can feel at home in any situation. They have the ability to adapt easily. You see, water can go anywhere. But what is interesting about Cancer is that they're not always warm. They can sometimes be very cold. Sometimes they can get hot because that is the nature of the moon. And usually Cancer ascendant also can be very moody because the moon changes signs every 2 days, but he also changes nakshatras daily. So there's a lot of change in the Cancer Lagna. Exalted moon will give you a good sense of security. Taurus moon gives a mind that is steady, practical, bright, brings financial security as it is in the 11th house of profit. Moon gets debilitated in the 5th house. It signifies the higher mind. The moon can become stuck in its ways, but can transform to become truly spiritual. One of the problems of a debilitated moon is that it's in Scorpio, and sometimes, they can get obsessive or stuck in certain ways of thinking, and they need to learn to flow because the water must flow. Jupiter is a good planet, but it can create problems as it rules the negative 6th house as well as the positive 9th. Multrikona of Jupiter, Sagittarius, 6th house for Cancer. So Jupiter can create trouble for them. Venus as the benefic ruling the 4th is not positive. It rules the 11th too. The element of Venus is also water. This creates a tendency of Cancer to be too emotional. Analytical Mercury does not harmonize with intuitive Cancer. It is negative as it rules the 3rd and 11th house. Now here, remember the story of Moon, that his child is Mercury, and Moon, Mercury hate each other. Moon doesn't hate Mercury, but Mercury hates the Moon. So when you're got, wherever Mercury is placed in Karka, then it can create problems. This Karka is another name for Kartaka, Cancer, so you can call it Karka or Kartaka. I find sometimes if some Cancer ascendant has Mercury in Cancer, they don't trust their intuition. They're all the time analyzing things. So that is something to think about. Saturn is death-inflicting planet as the ruler of 7th and 8th house. Cancer usually have to deal with relationship issues as cold and distant Saturn rules their 7th house. Their partners find it hard to understand their emotional nature. Sun is not always positive as it is Maraka, 2nd house ruler. Now, I think the thing to understand about Saturn ruling the 7th house is that sometimes Cancer can get partners who are very stoic and Saturn-like, but they can they can appreciate their partner, the emotional nature. But if they are cold and distant, then the Moon, Cancer needs nurturing, it wants to nurture other people, but it also wants to be nurtured themselves. So here we have two charts today. This is Johnny Depp, and his ascendant here, Cancer, and his moon is in the 6th house. So it's the house of obstacles with Ketu, and Jupiter is 6th lord. It's well placed in the 9th house. But when you are analyzing his chart, you have to think that maybe it's also giving effect of the 6th house. So 9th house is good luck. They can be obstacles in good luck. They can be sometimes taking the wrong advice. And here, remember that the most difficult planet for Cancer is Mercury. And Mercury is with Venus. And Venus is Karaka for marriage. And here they're in a planetary war as well. So it has created disturbance for Johnny Depp as far as marriage is concerned. And then he has a strong Saturn in its own sign in the 7th house. So he meets strong women, but maybe there is some coldness, distance, some issues there. So you can see a number of factors here. Now, this is Celine Dion's chart. And what you see here is she's Cancer Lagna, and Mars and Moon, Mars is her best planet, and Moon is in the 10th house with the best planet. And 10th house is house of career, and she's very successful career aspect. But Saturn, Rahu, Sun, all placed in the ninth house. So this can cause problems regarding taking advice and father. Actually, her seventh house ruler, Saturn, she married a husband who was much older than her. And then she has, you know, in the ninth house, a kind of replacement of father. I think he was about 30 years older than her. But here we can see Venus, Mercury in the eighth house, and Mercury being the difficult planet affecting Venus. So that would have created some difficulty. In her case, the difficulty is maybe not a difficulty she felt, but she was married to a much older guy. I think she was very much is very much involved in the relationship. So I think it's the Cancer that we have a number of you here. So there's Bindu, Cancer Lagna, exalted Jupiter in Lagna. That is excellent, very good. Moon is in the fourth house, home, happiness. So that is good. Venus, not the best planet for you, but you know, the benefics, they're not aggressively negative. They're just something that you have to watch out for. Now, this is interesting point, the Mars in the eighth house. Now, eighth house is not the best position for Mars, although Mars attitude to Cancer is very good. He's your 10th lord and the 5th lord. But by being in the 8th house, he's a little bit compromised, being with Ketu and opposite Saturn as well. So, you know, those are things that you have to consider. And then Mercury and Sun in the ninth house. But Mercury, as I told you, is not the easiest planet for Cancer. So being in the ninth house, it may have created some issues regarding father and those aspects. You know, it may be, you have to think about it. How did it affect me? As Mercury is not my best planet, how did it affect me? And that is what is important to consider. Jennifer, Cancer Lagna again, Moon is in the 8th house. So Lagna Lord in the 8th house. So it's always bringing transformation. Now in Cancer, you also have Rahu placed there. Rahu is always demanding from you. Do this, be, you know, do more. You can also feel dissatisfied with it. And I spoke to you earlier, Jennifer, that the Lagna Lord in Aquarius, because Saturn is transiting Aquarius, this is a pressurized time for you. It's now at 12 degrees of Aquarius, but it will come back. But that is important. Now, Mercury, not the best planet for Gemini, but he is in own sign, 12th lord in the own sign, so that it has a lot of positive aspects to it as well. Because it is placed in the 12th house own sign, it can, you do need to be careful that you are not creating too many expenses for you. But the best thing you have is your Mars. You see Mars in Aries, best planet for you in Aries, strong in the 10th house. So that gives you a lot of determination, drive, and Mars wants to do the best for you. So that is important to study. Myra, another Cancer ascendant, and ascendant ruler is in the 7th house of other people, relationships, but you're also wanting to do things for other people because the Lagna Lord is in the 7th house. Here we see, you see, there's two factors that you have to consider. So like Saturn, not the best planet for you, Myra, but it's exalted. So he's very strong and he's demanding, he wants attention. So even though he's your 8th lord and seventh lord, its own dignity, strength helps you. It's not a weakness. He's also Shubhapati for you. He's the lord of your moon. So you have to consider all sorts of factors there. Now, Jupiter, uh, ninth lord in the fourth is good, but sixth lord in the fourth, not so good. So, you know, you have to all the time uh, make decisions, and the best way to do it is yourself, because you know your chart, you know what is happening. And then second lord sun, which is Maraka, but that's only once in a lifetime. Otherwise, second lord in the fifth, you can make money from your creativity, ideas. But Mercury, not the best planet for Cancer. So in the fifth house, sometimes it can give you some off the wall ideas. So you have to be careful about that. Monica, again, we see Cancer Lagna, moon is in the 12th house. Here, Monica, you have to be cautious because your moon is isolated. So you have to not isolate yourself too much. You have to be conscious that you're not isolating yourself too much. It's not just the moon, it is your Lagna Lord. So there's a tendency, I want to be alone, I want to do things my way. Now, Mars, exalted Mars, very strong, very good planet for you. So, you know, you have a lot of drive, a lot of courage. Venus, not the best planet, but very strong in your chart. Fourth house, in the fourth house, that is a strong element there. Also, Mars ruler Saturn is in Scorpio, Scorpio's ruler Mars. So this Mars Saturn, this is a strong element for you. However, I would say the main thing that you have to learn to manage is your moon, because of the isolation. You have a lot of strong planets there, and you have to learn how to manage the isolated moon. And Serene, another Cancer and another moon in Aquarius. We had earlier, we had moon in Aquarius also with Jennifer. And here we have moon at 15 degrees Aquarius. That means Saturn is in Aquarius just now. If I just show you Saturn, Saturn is at 13 degrees Aquarius. So this is important factor. Saturn in Aquarius, this is important thing right now, because it's so coming close to your Lagna Lord, so you may feel some pressure. And also it's in the 8th house. It can bring unexpected changes throughout your life, not just now. But here we see again Mars, very good planet for you, best planet in the 9th house of study, knowledge, ideas. You see the same Mars in somebody for whom, say, Gemini ascendant has Mars in the 9th house, it will act differently to Cancer ascendant Mars in the 9th house, because he's the 9th lord, 10th lord in the 9th. That is a very good aspect. Here we see 3 planets in the 11th house: Jupiter, Venus, Mercury. Mercury, not the best planet, but it does quite okay in the 11th house. Venus, average, and Jupiter is a good planet, 9th lord in the 11th, largely good, but it can also show 3 sources of income, earnings for you. So Simha, Leo Lagna. Leo is the lion. Sun is the ruling planet, is known as the Lord of the Ascendant. Leo is a royal sign. The sun rules the universe. Its symbol, the lion, is the king of the jungles. All animals follow its dictates. Leo rising has a royal appearance. They can usually have a group of admirers around them. You see, for Leo Lagna, it's important to be among people who appreciate them. But at the same time, you have to be careful about people who appreciate you, because sometimes they can just, what's the right word? They can appreciate you too much. So they can become like psychopaths. Leo has a broad face with strong bones. Leo men can have a receding hairline, a tendency towards baldness. Leo are basically materialistic, but like to be spiritually aware. They are idealists and ambitious. Leo's Leos have an ability to act impulsively. They can be extremely involved in a project or a romance and just as suddenly give it up. Leo expect others to suit their convenience as they believe they are special. Relationships are usually difficult as Sun, their ruler, is a very hot, fiery planet. It has tendency to burn those who get too close to it. If you remember the story of Surya with his wife, who then left him because she couldn't handle him. Sometimes Simha Lagna can also experience some deception in relationship because of that story. I gave the stories of all the planets, and as your ascendant, you have to think that some of that could be possible. Also, 7th house ruler Saturn is the worst planet for the sun. Remember the Sun-Saturn story also? Saturn reflects the common man, sun royalty. Relationships for Leo can be a struggle between power and democracy. Sun gets exalted in auspicious 9th house, Aries. Sun will give the person strength, ability to be wise, a strong and good leader. Strong Sun is not always easy to get along as they have a tendency to dominate. Debilitated Sun, 3rd house, will bring lack of confidence. They will be afraid to go it alone, look for support or partnership. They are more diplomatic, a lot easier to get along than the exalted Sun. Mars is the best planet for Leo as it rules 4th and 9th house, becoming Raja Yoga Karaka, a king-making planet. It gives great success and happiness to Leo. You see, Mars is the commander-in-chief, Sun is the king. So the king is only as strong as his commander-in-chief. So the Sun, Mars naturally supports the Sun. Jupiter can be a good planet, but it also rules the negative 8th house. They can sometimes cause problems or create unexpected experiences. Negative planets, Saturn, 6th, 7th house ruler, Mercury, 2nd, 11th house, Venus, 3rd and 10th house ruler are negative planets for Leo. Moon rules the 12th house, can cause emotional stress, mental suffering. It is also an inauspicious planet for Leo. Now, Mercury, 2nd and 11th house ruler, even though negative, will give plenty of money and resources. If Leo ascendant has a strong Mercury, they will have a lot of money. Secondly, Mercury is always close to the Sun. Sun, as a king, is rich and wealthy. Good sense on finance. So you see that they tend to be, I would say, well off in their own way. You have to see many things, but that's a general rule that you can see here. This is Agatha Christie, and she is the author of a lot of murder mysteries. Many films have been made, and she's no longer with us, but hugely successful. So she's Leo Lagna, but you can see she has Saturn also in the Lagna. And Saturn is her 7th house ruler. So immediately you could see that maybe she had some issues regarding her marriage. You see, she is born in the late 19th century and early 20th century when women did not have the power. So here we can see dominating husband. And she had a lot of problems in her first marriage. Then she divorced and separated. But you can see that instantly here with the Sun-Saturn combination. But you see here, exalted Mercury, she's a writer. So, and Moon is in Virgo, 2nd and 11th Lord exalted. So plenty of money. Her books even now are making money. Her books have been translated into every language. I don't know how many TV series have been made and how much films have been made on her books. So you can see that second, and her books, Miss Marple, what's his name? Hercule Poirot, various books. So you can see then Venus, third house, also connected to writing. So Venus in its own sign. Best planet for her, Mars. Mars is in the 5th house. Now she was writing about murder mystery. So you can see that, but 5th house Lord Jupiter is in the 6th. Jupiter is also Karaka for husband. So being in the 6th house, you could see she could have problems in relationship. So there's a lot of things to study when you're looking at a chart. And so I think we have quite a few Leos also in the class. I'm not sure that Aesop has been in the class at all. Yeah. So Jaja, there's a Leo. So now you see Lagna, Leo. It's also a fixed sign. So can be very committed to doing things strong. Lagna Lord Sun is in the 6th house. So 6th house is a worker's house. So therefore, even though she's Leo, she's had to adapt to working and, Artha, day-to-day work. Jupiter is also in the 6th house. Here in the 7th house of relationship, Mars is placed here. Now Mars is good for everything, just not good for relationship. Good Mars in the 7th house, it will give career, good luck, good opportunity, but Mars is a planet of conflict in the house of relationships. So that is something to watch out for. And then Mars is in Aquarius, Saturn is in Scorpio, so they are exchanging signs as well. So these are things to watch out for. The money planets, Mercury, 2nd and 11th Lord in the 5th house of creativity, creative ideas. But Moon is also placed there, which is 12th house of expenses. So you see that Moon Mercury combination can give both money and expenses as well. Kyla here, we have a Leo Lagna with a strong sun in the 10th house. Sun loves being in the 10th house. Usually happens if you're born around midday. And here we have Mercury, which is usually Sun and Mercury are always together. So those are the two money ruling houses. So this can naturally give you finances, but Moon, exalted Moon here, but as the 12th house ruler. So Moon can bring change professionally, but also change for you otherwise. Even though Moon is exalted, it also rules the 12th house. Now, Kyla, you have many planets in the 12th house: Mars, Jupiter, Venus. Mars is your best planet, Jupiter is your good planet. Mars is debilitated. but he's still your best planet. It's like somebody wants to give you, but they are not 100%. They don't have the 100% energy. And Mars ruler moon is exalted, so there is a cancellation of debilitation. But 12th house can help you in foreign countries, travel, but three planets in the 12th house, you always have to watch for your expenses. That is the most important factor. Then Levant, we have Leo, and here Saturn is in Leo. So remember we saw the chart of um, Agatha Christie, 7th Lord is in the Lagna. Also 6th Lord in the Lagna. So Leo, you see, they are the king. Saturn is the servant. So, you can have sometimes unsurety whether you want to be strong or not strong. So that is something to watch for. Again, here, Sun, the Lagna Lord is well placed. It is in Leo with Mercury. And moon is in Aries. So you see a lot of fire energy. But how is Saturn affecting you? That is the thing that you have to think about, Levant. And Mercury, Sun, Mercury is the money planet here, very close to the sun. So, you know, it benefits the sun, but Mercury can sometimes get burnt up. Jupiter, best planet for you in the 11th house, and Jupiter's aspecting the moon. So that is also a positive consideration. And Mary, Leo Lagna, and see, Ketu is in the Lagna. So Ketu will always give a very spiritual attitude. Ketu can do two things. One is you can feel rejected, you reject everything, but the second aspect is interest in spirituality, interest in yoga, Jyotish, all those things. So it depends what you're taking. And the Lagna Lord Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is also a very spiritual energy. So this is a very positive aspect of the Lagna Lord being in the 5th house. Now, best planet is Mars for you. Mars is in Virgo, but his Saturn is placed there also. So the Mars-Saturn combination always can be one of frustration or irritation. Another factor that, Mary, you have is that Mercury and Sun are in different signs. Now, almost 85% of the time, Mercury is together with the Sun. When it is in a different sign, it shows independent nature. So somebody who is very independent and different. So the last sign today, Kanya, Virgo Lagna. So Kanya, you can see very beautiful. So all you Virgos, they're very beautiful. Mercury is the ruling planet, again, Lord of the Ascendant. It's a practical material sign. There is inherent frustration within Virgo as they know that their life is mostly on a material level, but subconsciously they desire higher spiritual realms. So they have to adjust this factor. Virgo symbol is the Virgin. They seek purity and perfection in all their endeavors. Yet what they thought was pure and good can get polluted by their own interaction. In this, if you think Virgo is like the white, if you wear a white outfit, then very soon it gets dirty, because white not only takes dirt, but it shows dirt. Say something like I'm wearing today. It can be very dirty, but you can't see the dirt. But if it was white, then immediately you can see. So this is with Virgo, they can see their imperfections as well very easily. Virgo must not idealize situations or people, try to be realistic. Otherwise, they're sure to be disappointed. Virgo have medium-sized body, big eyes. They can be feminine appearance, even men. Virgo is the Lagna for business. They will have good skills to manage and run a business. They can calculate, keep tabs of minute expenses, details that can help them make business successful. Virgo is sort of is about it can manage situations, so they can be very good at that. Mercury's ability to be influenced by conjoining planets must be taken into account when analyzing Virgo. They have to be careful who they allow to influence and what company they keep. So the two Lagnas, Gemini and Virgo, they have to be very conscious who they allow in their space. Now, I am neither of these Lagnas, but I find that if you um, if sometimes people are negative and giving you the wrong energy, it is very difficult, And for Mercury rule Lagnas, both Virgo and Gemini, they have to be conscious of it. And maybe every year they have to think that what are they doing and who are their friends, who are the, people around them. So try to consciously keep good company. Exalted Mercury first house would be in the Lagna. This would give a very good mind, a person who's secure intellectually. Debilitated Mercury will happen in the seventh house of relationships. This can make Virgo too idealistic about their relationships. They cannot be rational about them and tend to get disappointed. Also, Mercury cannot be sensible, practical in debilitation and less savvy at business. Now, I think what is important to understand is that uh, if you have any exalted or debilitated Mercury, the main issue is what are you allowing to influence? Even exalted Mercury, if people are telling them you're not bright, you're not intellectual, you can easily start thinking that. So that is very important aspect with Mercury. Venus is great planet for Kanya, auspicious ninth house. So this makes it the best planet for Virgo. It rules the second house, but Maraka is at a later date. Saturn rules fifth and sixth house, therefore unable to give fully positive results, irrespective of its friendship with Mercury. Mars rules both malefic third, eighth house, worst planet for Virgo ascendant. Impulsive, angry, masculine impulse does not work for analytical and passive Virgo. So you see, Virgo must be cautious that they are being analytical. That's who they are. They don't need to do impulsive behavior. But when the anger comes, then over the time you have to learn how to manage it. All of us have to learn how to manage our impulses, anger. So Virgo has to also do that. Moon rules the 11th house. 11th house ruler is negative. Sun rules the negative 12th house. So here we have Bill Clinton's chart. He's the former president of USA. You see, Bill Clinton has two timings, but I feel that Virgo is the right ascendant for him. Why do I think that? You see, Mars and Venus in the Lagna. So greatly influenced by Mars. Now, Mars in Virgo actually can be very good for strategy, for being commander-in-chief, because a commander-in-chief is not the foot soldier who goes on war. He's one who organizes the strategy, logical planning. So from a president point of view, that is good, but Mars Venus in the Lagna, not so good in his romantic life, which is very well documented. You can see again Sun in Leo. If you remember the chart of Tony Blair, he also had Sun in Leo, 12th house Sun, powerful, successful, but the person who is powerful doesn't recognize it. And his Mercury is in the 11th house with Saturn. So the influence of Saturn, that means can help to work hard, take responsibility. Saturn can also support Mercury. It's the fifth lord in the 11th house. So from that point of view, it can support Mercury as well. So we don't have any assignment today. And next week, we are going to do Libra to Pisces. Now I'm going to look at the balance charts. And I don't know. I don't think Lulu is here. Maureen, I saw Maureen and Natalie. So here we have Virgo Lagna, and Saturn is in the Lagna. Saturn is the fifth lord, so that's a good rulership, but he's also the sixth house ruler in the ascendant. What can Saturn give you? I find when Saturn is in the ascendant, people are super organized, but they feel as if they have a lot of burden on their shoulders. And Saturn can also give interest in health and healing. And then we see Mercury is with Jupiter, own sign Jupiter, Sun. So Mercury is under very good influence. So you would largely keep good company. And even though Mercury is debilitated in Pisces, there is a cancellation of debilitation because Jupiter is there. I will give you the rules of cancellation of debilitation later on, um, uh, but here we see this is a good energy for you. Only thing, Maureen, you have to think about is that you're not very practical. So you have to be careful if you're planning to do any business or anything. Even though the cancellation is there, Pisces is not the sign of business. So you're Virgo ascendant, but Mercury, there's sort of an impracticality about you, even though this is not a weakness here because Jupiter is supporting your Mercury. Now, the other point to be conscious is that Mars is in the second house. Now, Mars is not the best planet for Virgo, and it's second house of speech. So sometimes, you could have a very Martian speech. So it can come out as fierce. So be careful about that. I feel that is the important factor for you to consider. Natalie, Virgo Lagna, here see Mercury is in the 9th house. That's a very good position for Mercury. It's very close to the sun, but Mercury is with the sun always, Here sun rules the 12th house, so there is a desire for 12th house moksha, self-realization, but also the fact that it's close. Sometimes, you have to be careful that you don't get bullied, or bosses or people in power can try to influence you. But you have something very nice, Natalie, here, that Mercury's ruler Venus is in Gemini and Venus's ruler Mercury is in Taurus. So there's an exchange of signs here. This is a very good aspect for you. 9th and 10th house rulers exchanging signs. Moon in Cancer, not the best planet. Why it's not the best planet for Virgo is that it's Virgo must analyze, and moon is intuitive. So you have got a good moon, you'll have a good intuitive element as well. The main thing is these planets in the 12th house, how you manage them. You have Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu. And Mars not the best planet for you, so it's okay in the 12th house in a way. But, all these together, you have to watch your expenses. It's they can sometimes create some hidden issues, because anything in the 12th house is more hidden, so you have to be aware of that. Sabrina, another Virgo Lagna. So here we see Lagna Lord Mercury is in the 8th house with exalted sun. You see, Sun, Mercury, they're always together. So we don't take the sun's influence as negative, but here It's exalted sun. So that means that it gives an additional power to Mercury. But the eighth house can show sometimes unexpected consequences of your action. So those are the things that you have to be aware of. Now, here Mercury, ninth house lord in the 10th house, Venus, sorry, that is very good position for you. And again, you have the 4 planets in Taurus. I think, Sabrina, your birth time, I'm just looking at it. Yes, Natalie and Sabrina, you're born few days apart. And so you see all the planets in the 12th house. You have to think about how that impacts. Although Sun, 12th house Lord, is exalted in your case, and Sun and Mars, they are exchanging house rulerships. But this is a lot of fiery energy that you have, whereas your ascendant ruler is more, ascendant is more earthy, practical, down to earth. So you have to think about how this fire energy, how you are going to use it. You see, your moon is in Sagittarius, sun is in Aries, and 4 planets in Leo. So this is an important factor when you are considering looking at your ascendant. And Sandy, here we see again ascendant ruler in the 12th house. All of you are born, Sandy and Natalie and Sabrina, all of you are born close to each other because you see this combination of planets, Jupiter, Rahu, Mars, Sun. I would say that the real dominance of the 12th house, one should always consider doing something spiritual alongside with what else you do. And in Sandy's case, we can see from the moon Lagna, these planets go in the 11th house. But the 12th house, you have to consider that, you know, also regarding your expenses, that you are not wasting your finances. And finally, also, it can give you strength living in a foreign country. But Lagna Lord in the 8th house, but we have a strong Venus here, very good Venus. Positive Venus, 9th house ruler in the 9th house. And it's also the ruler of the moon. So that is good. And Yunnan, again, we see Virgo Lagna, Mercury in its own sign in the 10th house. Excellent influence of Ketu. So that's what you have to think. What is Ketu influencing? Everything can have a positive influence or a negative influence. So Ketu can influence on spirituality, yoga, astrology, past life, but it can also make you reject everything, do something different. And here we see Venus, 9th house ruler, is placed there with the sun. But I would say that the main thing is the Mercury Ketu combination that you have, and moon is also with Rahu. Mercury is not combust in your chart. Whenever you are analyzing Mercury, another factor you have to think about is it too close to the sun? That is one factor. Then Mars, not the best planet for you, but he's in Aries. He's very strong. And again, in Yunan's chart, we see moon in Sagittarius, Mars in Aries, and Jupiter in Leo. So fire element is very strong. And how do you manage that? How do you deal with, because you are naturally earth. So you have to think about the practical side of life. So that is it for today. I'm open to any questions if anybody has any questions.
Milaji,
Yeah,
I
Maureen.
just wanted to make a comment about my voice
Yeah.
because the Mars is in the second and you said very loud or fierce. And I'm old. I'm in my 70s. So I've had a career, and in my youth I was an opera singer.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
And moon is also there. So
So I'm
that's,
wondering if that loud voice is, maybe that's what it is. Because it's very loud. It can
it
be.
is. No, I mean, it gives you a dominant voice, you know. So
Yeah.
I would say being an opera singer is the right way to use the Mars.
Okay, good. I
Yeah.
just wanted to make that comment.
That is amazing. You see, Mars has got, it's a fiery voice. So when you're singing and you have to sing on the stage, then that is a perfect way to use it. Great. So let us see you all next week. Thank you very much. All the best.